Hey Megan, how's it going?
Very well. How are you?
I'm good. So you're living in a very exotic place right now, far away from home. Can you tell me where you're from and where you're living?
I am from St. John's from the Goulds, and I'm currently in Tanzania, which is in East Africa.
Wow, so that's very far away from home. What's it like living there?
Absolutely different, polar opposites, literally right now. So we're under the equator, so we are just entering the summer season, really. So it's very warm here. I mean, wildlife is abundant. It's absolutely amazing. Hot, my gosh, it's amazing.
You mentioned that you had some creatures behind you. Who's hanging out there with you
There's
today?
there's a couple of creatures. There were they are still. There's a few zebras, as us Canadians like to say, not zebras like these guys say. There's a good few that come in and out, and yeah, they love the grasses around the home, so they come straight up to the veranda just here, and yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy.
What do you do for work? What's your job?
So I am a model. I'm normally based in London, but given the current circumstances with the lockdown and everything like that in London, I've decided, you know what, my boyfriend has been born and raised here in Tanzania, so we're basing ourselves here for the time being.
And so let's talk a little bit about COVID. So when it struck, you were in London, as you said. So what happened then?
So yeah, exactly. It struck in that mid-March kind of time, and at the time in London, there was no, kind of precautions coming into place. I was getting a bit nervous, as we all were. And then when Trudeau announced, he said, "It's Canadians. It's time to come home." I was like, "All right, man." I went to the airport. I flew to Canada. I went home, and my boyfriend flew here home to Tanzania. And I spent the first 3 months of the proper lockdown in Canada. And then, as June rolled around, and we're doing long distance and all that good stuff, the border here in Tanzania opened, and so we just said, okay, it's now or never. We didn't, you just don't know what's going to come next. So when will we see each other again? So I took the plunge. I think it was a 21-hour journey all the way here in that peak of COVID times. Now I'm experiencing their version of the, I guess, lockdown.
So tell me a little bit about that. What does the lockdown look like in Tanzania?
Well, we've been smart, so we're just kind of based in the bush. So we're in our own kind of world of lockdown. So, I mean, you can drive for like a while before seeing a person here, and of course, we go about once a month to collect groceries and stuff like that. You don't feel that fear that's in Canada and Europe and the UK. It's more everyone's outside the whole time, and of course when you do go to the grocery store or whatever, you're wearing your mask, and the precautions are definitely in place in that sense. But for the most part, everyone's kind of keeping to themselves in their own little like bush bubbles.
Did you notice any changes to life there since COVID has struck? Any big differences?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing is, so this isn't my first time here. I've come about four other times, maybe five other times. And, when you're going on safari, you hear, you're going on safari, you go into those national parks, and you come upon an elephant or a wild lion, an animal like that. And you're surrounded by about 20 other safari car on a normal kind of visit to the national parks. But right now, I mean, we've been going into the national parks, and we've been basically the only vehicle. Like it's amazing in that sense. You get to experience an encounter with a wild elephant or a cheetah or a leopard, but there's no other cars with you. You can really feel the tourism industry has been really affected here, and it's really sad because they really depend on it here.
So when you're not working, Megan, what are you doing to pass the time?
I'm doing a little online course and just trying to keep busy because, the option is to go back to London and jump back into the fashion industry, but it's just not I don't see that making me happy given the times right now. So I'm choosing this for sure, and just riding out this wave, but Tanzania style for sure.
What about coming home then? Do you think you're going to make it back to Newfoundland or head back up to London anytime soon?
The priority would be to get to Newfoundland sooner than London. Obviously, my work would be in London, but my home is Newfoundland. I really miss my family, and Newfoundland. I walk around here. I'm like, I am a Newfie. I'm a very proud Newfie, and everyone's like, what is that? They all want to come to Newfoundland. We're gonna have a bunch of Tanzanians coming to Newfoundland soon.
Are you feeling homesick at all?
I am unbearably homesick. I think like when the cold weather started to come in and I'm here sweating, I was like, oh, it'd be quite nice to be home and in Newfoundland with my mom and my dad and just to be like downtown St. John's, just to see the coastline and everything like that. I am just so excited to get back soon. I am definitely homesick, especially now.
All right, Megan, before I let you go, I have to ask, do you have any parting words for any family and friends back home?
Oh my gosh, my mom and my dad and my grandma, everyone watching, I miss you guys so much. And, these times are definitely strange. And I'm definitely in a different part of the world, but my heart is always in Newfoundland.
Okay, Megan, thanks so much for the chat. I'll see you later.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. I miss you all.